question. So I'll bring a different angle to this, or say a technical angle to this. Trends, I would say, is going towards net zero. Following COP26, most nations will or have already committed to their net zero goals. And businesses will soon need to follow suit. You'll see that various regulators and exchanges such as Singapore Exchange, Hong Kong Exchange, others are asking for transparency and disclosure around sustainability and climate change and how it affects your businesses. So that's very important. So that's a trend that's upcoming, and most regulatory agencies as well as exchanges will take this up. Winston touched on adaptation and resilience, which is very much true, and what businesses need to be considering as an immediate need, knowing what's already happening in the UK, Europe, and other parts of the world with regards to physical climate change impacts. And we are seeing it as we speak, especially some in the UK and Europe. In terms of challenges, I think the first real challenge, which is important, is to reassess our current strategies towards decarbonization and what companies or cities need to do effectively to decarbonize the infrastructure, which of course is the first step towards maintaining a sustainable city. So first and foremost, and you must have heard this quite a few times, but really first and foremost, your carbon footprint or establishing baselines is really important. It needs to be continuously reassessed. Your carbon footprints or your baselines, these need to be data driven. It should be targets should be set. You must have heard of science-based targets. All this are important because cities need to have a higher degree of confidence that their plans will actually deliver net zero outcomes. Again, net zero outcomes for a city is challenging because it requires an understanding of how it fits with regional and national systems. We in Singapore are only one city, but I'm talking in general when each city has their own actions, right? So fitting in with national systems is important. Knowing what the NDCs are in your country of interest. For folks here who are not aware, NDCs are nationally determined contributions, which means whatever the countries agreed on for their climate action. So then from a city's perspective, it's important that these things fit in with, say, the regional spatial planning, your local master planning systems for the future and such. And all this has become more and more challenging because the current designs are not fit to these. Again, futuristic plans can be challenging if you don't have cross-industry view to sustainable systems. So it's very important to establish a cross-industry aspect of decarbonization on integrating with your national plans. For example, how do you integrate your decarbonization strategy to the city's power or utility systems? Is repurposing buildings the right thing to do in your city's context? Does that fit into your current grid system? How do you optimize existing systems? So all these are important to consider. I do believe that cities need to be adaptive as well as resilient, and we're hearing those two words again when they look at urban strategies. So are you confident that your grid will deliver as planned when shifting to clean energy? We all talk about clean energy and how that needs to be incorporated into our businesses. But then the challenge is, are we ready for that? Are you confident that your grid system is able to take that up? Have you planned for demand? How independent are you or not, depending on these systems? So a lot of questions to rethink, to consider. And again, cities are becoming increasingly susceptible to climate change. This is a huge challenge, so they must ensure that their build systems are resilient and again, very important, adaptive. It's really important to ensure adaptability the way things are changing in the climate space. And we all know it's not possible to completely decarbonize our environment. So again, we need to be aware of what you have in terms of your carbon removal systems, your carbon sequestration and such. So a few typical challenges that I see in the industry in maintaining maybe a sustainable city or a sustainable organization per se.